Welcome all you Virgos to your weekly energy update. We're looking at the week of July 3rd through July 10th. And of course, we've got the 4th of July that's happening in the United States where we celebrate freedom. So the energy of this reading is going to be where can we find more freedom in our personal lives? And we're going to start off with the Power of Surrender deck. And all the cards I use in a reading I do list in the description box below. I'll give these a good shuffle. And we will dive right in. One more time. All right, so for our Virgos, what would you like them to know? What area of their life can they use some surrendering, some freedom? All right. So let's take a look here, and you have the surrender to inner peace, freedom of inner peace. And it says, cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet, meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. Yeah, so having the freedom to flow instead of being involved in chaos, right? The opposite of inner peace is outer chaos, right? We will dive more deeply into these. So we've got the Power of Surrender cards. We're going to use the Archangel Power Tarot and just see what else they'd like me to know. Let's skip these, shuffle as well. Get the energy flowing. And one more time. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull two different sides here. One is going to be your human side, your human experience, the character that you're playing as this human, and then this side is going to be from the actor behind this character, the spiritual side of you, that powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. So we'll start off first here. So for the human side, what would you like them to know around this freedom? Okay, you do have these two. And then what about from the spiritual side of their experience? Okay, this one here. And yep, just the one they said. And then we will use these everyday tarot as clarification for these. So we'll start off over here. And you've got divine guidance, which this will normally be the Hierophant in the standard tarot. But you have divine guidance here. That's Archangel Sandalphon. I probably murdered that, I apologize. It says, the search for meaning in life. Consider an alternative approach. Surrender yourself with wise teachers or friends. So this definitely has this energy of reaching out to the divine, reaching out to those higher places. You know, even here, she's up in the air in the clouds with these fiery birds. I think those are seagulls. I thought first they might be little phoenixes, but you definitely are seeing things from a different perspective, from a higher perspective here. And that's where you're finding the peace, because your natural state of being is one of unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter. But when we're in the chaotic world, the human world, that is totally opposite of all that. So let's see what else you have here too. You got the Justice card, so two major arcana for this human side. And the Justice card, you can see they're balancing things here, balancing the upper and the lower worlds. And it says, fight for justice and equality. Rulings made in your favor, don't give up. So that's kind of the standard meaning of the Justice card. But for you, this is this balancing out of how you're seeing things in life. Both of these are purple. They're both that crown chakra, the higher chakra. And so you're understanding this balance between the things about seeing from your human perspective that's rooted in fear and seeing from this higher perspective from the heavens. It's like the Hanged Man. You're just seeing things in a whole different way when you rise to this higher place, when you rise to this being of who you really are, seeing things from the spiritual place of unconditional love. Let's see what it has over here. So you got the Six of Gabriel, which Gabriel would be wands. So the Six of Wands in the standard tarot. And it says, congratulations, you've done a wonderful job. Time to move on to the next project. And so awards, scholarships, or promotions. So this is kind of two things. One is fire energy, which all this really looks like this fiery type of movement, this new energy that you're moving into. But it is this being seen, right? It's the recognition kind of card. Normally, and there's also like this, the 6 is our movement from one shore to another in a way. And the 6 of Gabriel would be, whereas before you had this energy of looking for recognition from the outside world, you either got it and you were like, it left you really still wanting, right? You thought that's what you wanted, and then you got it and you're like, oh, or you never got it, and the carrot kept on getting moved and moved and moved and moved to where now you see that carrot is old, dilapidated, and even moldy, and you're like, that doesn't interest me anymore. You lost that interest. And so this change of your energy is looking to the heavens, looking for this higher perspective, seeing that what you're really looking for is that recognition from the heavens. And here you are, they're telling you, we've seen the work that you've done. We've seen the progress that you've made in your life. We're so proud of you for the courage that it took to come down here as a human just to start off. But everything you've overcome 100% of any challenge that you were faced with, or you wouldn't be watching this video right now. So they are very proud of this energy and this drive and this ability that you've had to overcome. And now you're seeing things from this different perspective. They're inviting you to come out of all the pain and the suffering and the chaos into this new higher place. So it's like this invitation to come higher. Like I said, we're going to use these everyday tarot. Let's see what else they have to add to these messages here. I really want to see, where are they inviting you to? So let's see what, okay. They want that one too. And these two, okay. So we'll see if they want any more beyond this, but I kind of feel like this is where they're inviting you to. So let's start up here. Okay, they want like this, okay. So you've got the 5 of Wands. Wands energy, again, reminds me of the fire here. So the 5 of Wands, you can see this looks like conflict. This looks like these people are battling each other. And I always start off seeing like a little kung fu movie where all these people have these staves, right? And they're all battling each other, and it's like they're trying to have a winner, and they look like they're trying to hurt one another, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And they finally battle, and there's one person left barely standing, and the other 4 are laying on the ground exhausted, and you're like, what is he going to do next? He's not going to kill him, or what's happening? And then they all start laughing, and you're like, what is going on? And then they all put their staves away, and they help each other up, and they're all laughing, and buddy walking back down this little path back to the monastery, where they go into the meal hall and have a meal together. And you're like, oh, these aren't people that are trying to kill one another, these out of fear, but these are, brothers and sisters that are helping each other improve their skills by going through this process. And so it moves from this energy of feeling like there's conflict out of hate and fear to that this is all a beautiful act of love, even when we can't see it. So this chaos and with this peace really is such a huge thing here. And you have the 5 with divine guidance. You have the 5 of Wands. It's all about change of perspective too. So you're seeing that, like, you can look around, especially in the United States, but all over the world. I mean, you got conflict of wars, and you've got upheavals in different places, and we've got COVID, and you've got political stuff and racial stuff, and all this injustice, all this injustice that we're seeing, and we're like, oh my gosh. But it's like, when we are able to see things from a higher perspective, we understand that all these circumstances that are happening in our outside world are happening on purpose for a purpose, and they're happening to show us the conflict and the chaos when we're looking outside of ourselves for our peace. And it keeps pointing us back inward for us to find our peace from within. Let's see what else comes in here too. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles is your outside world. 8 is all about moving to a new level. You can kind of see here again, this is like an apprentice who's been working, like, think of a blacksmith apprentice, how they will take on a master blacksmith, will take on an apprentice to teach them the skills. And that apprentice, you do the work and you do the work and you work very hard to learn and you're doing all this stuff, and eventually you get to a point where you've learned the skill and the master goes, very good. I'm so proud of you for what you've done. You've done so much great work. Here's a little gift of money and I'm sending you off to another city to become the master blacksmith there. And then you move to this new place in this new higher position, and you may even take on an apprentice yourself. And so this is about in your outside world, in your outside worth even, that you're moving to a new level of understanding, a new level in your external world. So definitely moving to a new place. You're ready to move to a new position in how you're perceiving the outside world. Yeah, and then you have the 6 of Cups. Cups are emotions. This is nostalgia, and so another 6 here. But this is about you reflecting on your past and your emotions. And with all this movement, this change of how you're seeing things, you do realize that whatever you're seeing in the outside world now has nothing to do with what's going on now. I'm reading this wonderful book called The Presence Process. Almost done with it, and it's one of those life-changing books. But it does talk about how when we look at something going on in our lives right now where we have this upset in our life, he calls it a set-up. It's a setup. We're upset because we are wanting to start looking at some things within us. And that's what happens. This upset comes for our little small inner child of ourselves to get our attention and wake us up, because there's this charged emotion that's bouncing around inside of us in our basement, like our subconscious, right? And it wants to be dealt with. And so it starts to bring these things from the outside for us to see it, to get our attention. And when you go back and look at, like I said, if you have something going on in your life and you're like, this is how I feel emotionally about it, just feel it, like this is the emotion I feel with what's happening. When's the last time I felt that? And go back. And when's the last time I felt that? It doesn't have to be the same type of situation. It can feel like I feel abandoned by this person. The other thing, you can feel abandoned in a different way. It's the feeling that's the same as you go back and look. Eventually you'll find it takes you back to your childhood. I'll link the book down in the description box below if you want to check it out. It is one of those life-changing books, but this is this indication of you looking back at your old emotions from your small child, because that is what is bringing these feelings of conflict, and you're ready to move into this next level, obviously, because you have an 8 and an 8 and a 5 and a 5. What is this one? And a 6 and a 6. A lot of things matching up here. Yeah, okay, perfect. So you have the High Priestess. High Priestess, she's all about getting into the unknown, getting into connecting to the higher realms, seeing things from a higher perspective too. She takes time away to go in her High Priestess temple, connects to the moon, but able to get into the subconscious too. So whenever this, like the moon comes up, this is about she helps you dive deep into the subconscious, into the things, these programs that are minimized, that are still running in your life. So it does help you get down to that. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune, number 10, times for endings and new beginnings. So definitely have these changes that are coming. But this message also is that everything that's happening in your life is on purpose, for a purpose. Because the kind of little story that they gave me around the card, Spirit was like, before you come down here, your higher self chooses the character that is going to play you, your avatar, how you're going to experience your life. So yours chose you, mine chose me, chose when we're going to be born, when we're leaving and withdrawing out of our bodies, going back fully being into the spiritual realm, and all these fated events, all this stuff that it wanted us to experience in this life in order for it to understand itself more. And when we look at that, it's like, oh, So I'm not on this out of control drama train that's about to leap off the tracks and explode. Everything is happening on purpose, for a purpose. And another piece of that is like, well, if they're all fated events, why even do it if it's all just like watching a movie unfold? It's like, no, it's an interactive movie, because within each of the fated events that unfolds in our lives, we are given the power of choice. We're given that free will of what we want to feel as we go through that fated event, what story we apply, what interpretation we apply to that event as we're going through it. And so again, there is this awareness that comes in with all of that, with this, that we are the ones that are in control of that. And we start fearing less of the future, because you feel out of control when you think, when this thing happens, this is what it means. When this thing happens, this is how I have to feel. Who knows what comes around the corner? Whatever comes around the corner, oh gosh, I'm stuck with this, right? But this is this power to choose. And, you know, when they first told me that, it kind of goes back to this card a little bit too. I was like, I don't feel like I'm choosing. I feel like when this thing happens, this is how I feel. When this thing happens, this is what it means about me or the world or the other person. And they're like, come sit down. And they gently show me, like, all of us, our childhoods growing up, we're all given these popular opinions about what something is supposed to mean and how we're supposed to feel around something. And it's reinforced so much, it eventually becomes our habit to feel that way and to believe that about that situation. And then it becomes our habit enough where it becomes our reaction, where it happens so fast, it doesn't feel like that. But they are talking about taking time away to look at those things, look at those beliefs, and then you can form new habits, either while you're going through it, if you're able to take a deep breath as the situation's happening, going, this is what I normally feel, but this is what I want to start feeling about that. This is what I normally think about that, but this is what I'm going to start thinking about it. And if you can't do it while you're going through it, which is difficult in the beginning, you can, like right after it happens, look back and go, wait, oh, okay, so this is what I chose to feel, but I want to start choosing to feel differently in the future. I'm going to create new habits on my feelings and thoughts around it. So there's this freedom that comes with all of this that's happening too, which will help bring you this peace, because when you really grasp that power of choice, you don't fear so much. And when you don't fear so much, you're in peace more, right? It's a catch-22. Yay! Yep, because here you go. 10 of Cups. Cups are your emotions, and the 10, another 10. This is emotional fulfillment. Here's the rainbow, right? Rainbow of emotion, feeling whole and complete in every area of your life emotionally, which makes sense. As you revisit this, you understand that every moment you get to choose. Either it's a choice of unconditional love of the higher realms, or the fear of losing conditional love in the human physical world, right? Because you understand that when we go into fight, our flight mode is our little human. That little human child piece of us, our little small self inside of us, feels unsafe or out of control. It sounds an alarm. It goes into fight or flight mode. You feel that prick in your heart like someone scared you. The blood rushes from your brain. Your adrenaline starts to flow. Your immune system shuts down. Your nervous system does all sorts of fun stuff to prepare you for battle or to run like hell. And you go out of your mind. Literally, it doesn't want you to think. It wants you to react. And so when you start to look back at situations, understanding all of this information, you realize, oh, so I was acting out of my mind. That person was in fear, acting out of their mind. And so whatever happened, it was two basically little children acting like little animals that were in fear mode, just reacting, trying to feel safe again, trying to feel in control again. And a lot of times we don't do that in very emotionally intelligent ways. We do that in very animalistic, selfish, hurtful ways, trying to gain control and to feel safe again. And so when you go back and look at all these situations, you do find peace in your life. You find peace in those situations by understanding that that person was in fear. I'm in fear. I start looking at the situation differently. I start looking at that person differently. And then, of course, most importantly, we start looking at ourselves differently. And this peace definitely comes in. I love this message for you. Don't be afraid of it. It's all for you, not happening to you. That's what else we learn with the Wheel of Fortune, is that life happens for us, right? Always. We move from that victimhood of life is happening to me, that life is happening for me. I move from feeling like a victim to this free-flowing, beautiful, powerful self instead. So love this for you, Virgos. If you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these weekly energy updates, I also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign and a few other types of videos throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on any of these and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that gives you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love, and it helps my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like a video, share a video, comment on a video, subscribe to a channel, doing any of those things makes the YouTube algorithm so happy it wants to share the videos of this channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I'm very, very grateful for that. Also, all those things are free, so that's very convenient too. In addition, these readings are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and specific answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings at a reasonable rate, and all that information is listed in the description box below. All right, mighty Virgos, as you go throughout this week, please know that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and of course, I love you too. Have an amazing week. I'll be talking with you soon. In the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.